Welcome to the Dyson'S Effect.
A show about everyday situations, issues, and topics we talk about and give our opinions.
We may even listen to yours.
We are your hosts, Johnny
and Theresa,
also known as Mr. and Mrs. Dyson.
This is Johnny.
And this is Theresa.
And this is another episode of the
Dyson'S Effect.
Very enthusiastic when you're sleeping. Countdown. Let's see how long it takes you to go to sleep. How you feeling?
Sleepy.
Why you sleeping? Why you tired?
Always tired.
You took a nap today?
No, I don't ever get to take a nap.
Why you didn't get to take a nap today?
Cause I have Caden.
Yeah.
No naps.
You don't take a nap when he take a nap?
No, I need to work when he take a nap. I need to do other stuff. So.
So you tired?
No, about 8, 9 o'clock, I'm ready to go to bed.
Like an old lady. Mm-hmm. Like a real grandma in the game.
Yep.
Like a real grandma in the game. So, got my boy t-shirt on. I am royalty. What is his website again? royaltysupplyclothing.com.
Something like that.
Check out my boy. Check out. Make sure I put a posting up with his shirt up. Okay, let's get right to this one. Now, the reason why I kind of chose this topic is because remember the topic we had before, which is still an ongoing topic, believe it or not, of who eats first, the kids or the husband. You know, that's an ongoing topic. So a lot of people, I just seen like 3 posters of them like within this month in regards to that. And then a lot of people saying that in their relationship, who comes first? It's either man, was it God, man, the children. Some people put the children, God, and then the man, and then it was just all type of stuff. And this wasn't I don't know, say gender specific, because it was based on a lot of the stuff the man was doing, but I also seen this in the past when it relates to a lot of stuff with women. So the topic today is, can a marriage work without religion? Meaning, can it be successful? Can it work without religion? Can it work with different religions? Can it work in the aspect of whatever successful looks like, people in the marriage? Because a lot of I pulled this question out of that because a lot of people so for example, it's this one incident when this woman is saying that her husband don't do the same for her, he does this, he does that, and she is wondering what's the dynamics of relationships. Like, should she put him before the kids? Because they have this friction going on in the house. Now, I'm guessing that the kids is not his for this one I'm talking about. For the other one that I'm talking about, they are married and the kids are his, and it's still a discussion. So that's what made me come up with it. Like, can a marriage work without religion, whatever your religion is? I mean, what do you think? Well, first, what do you think about that issue? Have you heard people say things like that, like where God, whatever? So you've heard that before, correct? Okay, all right. So I ain't.
Yeah. As far as religion, I guess you both have to have some kind of belief, whether you're believing in the same religion or I don't feel like one person can be an atheist and one person believes in God. That's not gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work.
Elaborate, please.
Because if you believe in God and you're married to someone that does not believe in God of no kind, um, when you're praying or you may be listening to gospel or you may even go to church on a regular or that person um, may be offended. That person may speak negatively against things that you believe in, as such as you praying and going to church, fasting, paying your tithes off, and your offering, whatever you do within your religion or your beliefs. So you being married to someone that has no belief in a God at all, that's definitely not gonna work. You're gonna bump heads. There's going to be a lot of, I think, negative conversations toward the when it comes to the religion and things that's going on that they don't agree with. A lot of down talking, a downplaying of your religion and your beliefs. And if you are someone that is, you've been raised all your life to have a religion or to believe in someone or a God, and you marry someone that I guess would say never knew a God, it wouldn't work because you're for one, your faith is going to be tested, your beliefs is going to be tested, and it's just like, okay, so because you love this atheist person, but you also choose to love your religion and who you worship a little bit more, who are you gonna believe and trust in? Like, do you want a relationship that's going to be based off of you arguing about a religion and going back and forth about who's real, who's not real? It's not gonna work. I don't think it would work.
I don't think so. There are people that are agnostic atheists, meaning they're open if there is a God, but as of where they stand now, they don't see it possible being a God. And I guess the difference in atheists don't believe in God or nothing of the sort. Now, one atheist that I used to work with back in Columbus, Paul, how he made it sound, he took the most simplest thing and just blew it out of proportion, but it makes sense of how he made it sound. Even though I disagree with him, I understood. He said, I don't believe that somebody from up above made man and people from dirt and blew life into him, and that's how we all walking around. I said, yeah, you put it that way, you got a point. I mean, if you don't believe in God, that doesn't make any sense at all. But there are people, for lack of a better word, that have studied things around theology, religion, and there is a very small percentage of people that are open to it's a possibility of God, but as of this time, they don't believe in it is a God. So they call them like agnostic atheists. But believe it or not, when it comes to like the scientists, the archaeologists, and the theologists, and all that stuff, that like they might go to Jerusalem and look up all this stuff in Jerusalem, and then go down the path and like follow the footsteps and everything that Jesus did, and try to see. A lot of these people, even the ones that believe in Allah, Buddha, Siddhartha, a lot of those people believe in a God. As interesting as it may sound, majority of them believe in a God. And I'm saying that to say that I guess it kind of depends on where your mind is open towards, because how can you the, how can you convince somebody of faith? That's the thing. How can you convince somebody of faith? That's the thing that people is gonna be bunting heads on. Like, how can you convince somebody of faith? Like, this is faith, and this is, and I was listening to another podcast, and he was trying to explain it, and they couldn't gather the words to it. But you're saying that most atheists believe this. Now, I was listening to this same particular podcast, and it's a lot of men, white men, black men. They do not believe in God based on the historical thing that's been going on. Men from all races. So they want their significant other to believe, if not the same thing, somewhere along the lines. Like, I heard this one guy, he was saying that he didn't want a woman that was a Christian, because Christians, you can't convince them of anything, this and that, and basically they don't believe nothing. They just so diehard Christians they can't see facts and open their mind up to this and that or what have you. But one of the things that was interesting that he said was after that it dug deeper and deeper and deeper. He's a pastor kid. His parents are pastors, and he still was an atheist. And he said what made him become an atheist because, he just didn't see God and all the stuff that was going on around the church and everything. And after doing some reading and research, he just said, well, I'm just not going to believe in God. So I'm saying that to say, you don't think they can get along if they have different gods? You don't think two people can get along if one person believe in God and don't believe in God?
Right. I think it would be too much of a head bump when it comes to that, I guess, aspect of their life. Like, if I sit down and pray before we eat, you may be offended. That could be an argument because I'm praying. Whether I'm praying out loud or over my food, just, I pray before we get on the road to go. I'm on the highway on a road trip. I pray before we get on planes, when we land, while we're there. So for me, just doing a everyday prayer for, every little aspect or every little thing, different things in my life that may offend you because you don't believe in that. So you don't understand. You may not understand why and who I am praying to.
I got a friend that is Caucasian, and he married someone that was of a Muslim religion. And from his experience, he was saying that he was just going to convert to being Muslim because he grew at first. He's in a way he's saying he was a kind of an atheist, but because his family kind of grew up kind of believing in God, but it really wasn't a big issue. But once he decided to marry her, he's like, okay, I'll just be a Muslim. Like, yeah, no problem, big deal. And that's when like his family just went crazy. And I've seen in a few cases that when someone really loves someone, they'll convert over to their religion. The documentary you watched the other day, the guy that was marrying that one girl, it looked like she had a Jewish wedding and she was black, right? Apparently, I'm not sure if he was Jewish or not, but I don't think he was.
Well, she was brought up Jewish.
She was brought up Jewish. So, Jewish is a religion, it's not a race.
Well, they were Jews. I think her dad and
my mom was, yeah. So most people, if they in love, they'll convert over. I don't think it'd be an issue though. A good example.
Well, converting from believing to non-believing is a little. I get like maybe you were Christian and you marry Muslim and now maybe you're studying to be Muslim, but to go from believing to not believing is a little bit extreme.
To go from
Believing to not believing that there is a God is a little extreme. Now there is cases where people would be like, okay, well let me learn about this Muslim religion or this Catholic religion, which is still believing in some form of God, which to me it's only probably one God, but when you give it to everybody, they're gonna, dice it up, break it up, and do it the way they want to do it. But I believe everybody is praying to one God. So, but to say, yeah, I've been Christian all my life to now I don't believe in God, that's a bit extreme, in opposed to I'm Christian, but I'm going to see what this Muslim or this Catholic or this religion is.
Yeah, but that means they'd probably had a interesting life experience that made them go that way.
Yeah, and some people do. Some people, like you said, they would be Christian or whatever, and they grow up to believe in nothing. So
your uncle
Muslim
is a Christian, and he married to a Muslim or a Nation of Islam. Frida, they got a good marriage. They get along fine. But that's odd, right? Or it don't seem odd, but usually that doesn't happen. So for people that don't know, both of them been married before. So they probably been married only 15 years, maybe, roughly around there. Like 15. They've been married for a while. But they was married before they met each other. But at the age they met each other, it's just like they met each other probably at the perfect time in their life, when I don't think religion would make a big difference. Now, for Uncle Johnny, ironically the same name, it doesn't seem like it's a big issue for them. It's because they just happy. That's all that matters. They happy. If you looking at them when they go out and they go places and they do things, you couldn't even tell. They just happy. Little Mo, the singer, she was brought up in the gospel and church and everything. Married that fighter from Philly, converted over to Muslim. I guess he was allegedly, I'm not sure if he was beating on her, putting his hands on her or whatever. And they are going through a divorce. And now she's back. I mean, she got
I think her dad was a pastor, right?
Yeah, like she was
mom
deep.
Or somebody.
She got, on her first album, she got songs when she's singing like 5 or 7 years old about Jesus and all that stuff. Like, that's a big move. Like, that was a heavy move for you. Like, you grew up in the church. Now, some people she grew up in, she got songs when she young as a baby singing, and she could sing her butt off. And she converted over, and argumentatively, they are not together. And now she's back believing in what she believes. But interesting enough, she has a story. There's a book about a guy that was searching for God. I think he was searching for God or searching for Allah and found Jesus. And it's supposed to be an interesting journey of how he went through the same things and how he ended up believing in Jesus, whatever it is. Another story is, my cousin told me about this book. He don't remember the name of it, but it's like 3 or 4 different guys, and they start off in certain places in the world. And when they go to these different places in the world, all these people go through different changes. They do this, they end up doing this. This person might walk on water. This person gonna vanish in air. This person is gonna be meditating and doing this and that. And it's just talking about all these few people in this book, and they going through life with all these chains, going through life. And by the time you get to the end of the book, it tell you, all right, now pick a religion. Because it's like different stories of Allah, God, Buddha, and another one. But I don't think me personally, I don't think it's that much of a big deal, because I don't see religion being as big as it used to be. Religion used to be real big. Like, religion used to be, I mean, before, like in the medieval times, there was a movie I watched a while back. In the medieval times, it was a war against the Muslims and the Christians. It was like a Muslim, when it put you in the mind of 300, but they didn't wear the same clothes, but like it was the medieval time with the medieval wear. King Arthur and all that stuff, and they was the Christians fighting the Christian war against these Muslims, and what I didn't like about the movie, they tried to paint the Muslims as bad people without doing a neutral story, so you could see and understand both sides on what the war was, but it tainted the view a little bit. But I don't think, me personally, I think it can work. Because for one, your uncle is a testament to it. For two,
well, she's not. I'm saying it's not gonna work when one is believing and one is like 100% not believing.
I think all of the above. I'm saying all of the above, simply because if a person is really in love with you and they really digging you, then I don't think religion matters, especially if they can open your mind to something that you've never seen before. You know, a lot of the men that I was hearing on these podcasts that was atheists and real die hard, don't believe in God, this and that. They haven't opened their mind and their heart up yet. So they real hard on this situation, and they're not open to the possibilities of love. And it has nothing to do with God. You know, sometimes, when you go on a date, you don't go on a date talking about religion. Like, in today's time, people are not going on a date talking about religion. So, what was your Bible verse today? So, hey, did you do any volunteer work at the missionary today? Like, people are not talking about. So, I don't think religion is at the forefront anymore, because I think in today's time, people are sleeping around more. People are going on many dates and doing so much stuff before they even come to the point of if they're, because I just heard someone say this on the podcast the other day. She was with someone, and they was going on dates for a while. It's been like getting close to a year, and he was like, so what we doing? She was like, ugh, I don't want no titles. So she don't want no title. She don't want the title of boyfriend or girl. And that's not my first time hearing that. Like, I don't understand it. Like, you'll sleep around with somebody without a title. Like, I don't understand that. I'm still trying to get my mind wrapped around it. So you'll do all this with somebody, all this sleeping around, go out to dinner, go out of town. Some people even going on trips, and you don't want the title of a boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yeah, some people are content with just being single and mingling, I guess. I ran across this lady on TikTok, and she, I guess she identifies as asexual.
Asexual, yes.
So, which she,
or gender fluid, the new one is one of them.
Was just saying, like, she's okay with not being in a committed relationship. She's happy being single and sleeping and dating who she wants. And a lot of people have issues with the way she is, I guess, because she don't want to be in a committed relationship. because she feels like people are in committed relationships. They are not genuinely happy. They're miserable. People in marriages that's miserable. So she was like, why would she place herself there just because, her friends or her family want to see her in a relationship? And she's like, she's completely happy with being single. And she said that's a lot of women issues, is they're not happy single. Like, they need to be with someone.
I agree with that part.
So
That part I agree with. We know two parts to this. We know people that will not be by themselves for a long period of time. Mm-hmm. Like I know certain people, women and men, that they will claim that I want to, be with myself for a minute, figure it out. Soon as somebody come along, it don't take long. It'd be like 2 weeks. It don't even be a full 30 days. It don't even be a full 60 days. Somebody come right along and swoop you up your feet or give you, or it don't even be that. They give you one little compliment. Hey, you look nice. They trying to talk to me. Like, it be the littlest thing. And then, within these relationships, we talked about it before. We both know people that are hopelessly romantic. The littlest relationship they have, or so they just fall head over heels, and they fall head first down the hill, and then they had their heart broken. They be like, what happened?
Well, he moved in 2 days, so
like it don't even be no courting. It don't be nothing. So just think about that. To your point about what the lady was saying. Like, religion is not even on the table. That's one. And then, not for nothing, we got so many communities that's trying to integrate. So, my sister watched the I call it the fake show. I don't believe it's real. When Sister Wives, when the guy's trying to find a wife to live with and marry his wife and this and this and that. Well, one of the guys, because I didn't watch it. My sister just sent me the clip of it. The black couple on there, they don't have a traditional wedding or a traditional marriage. They have their own ritual that they do. And then it was something else that I was reading about. When we talked about polygamy and everything on our one episode, that episode is our highest ranking episode. That one post we did got so many views, but so many people commented, so many people followed us off of it too. They think we believe in polygamy or we agree with polygamy, even though we don't agree or disagree. But just with that alone, with the polygamy that's growing, especially in the black community that we talked about before, how we're dating now, religion is not even on the table. Like, so that's what I mean. Like, I think it would matter if it was more on the table, but being that it's not on the table, like, I don't think it really matters that much. That's what I mean. I think it don't matter, because if it was more right, wrong, and indifferent, like they took religion out of schools, like if it was more how it used to be, okay, because it's in kids when they're young, when they're growing up. More kids not going to church as much, and it's church is not as what it used to be. I mean, it's not.
Yeah. I mean, especially since the pandemic, a lot of people continue to just do church at home, online, because they feel like I done did this for almost 2 years. What's the purpose of going back? And I'm still, getting whatever the same results, even better results at being at home. So, it's definitely a lot like it used to be. It was put in your head you had to go to a church every Sunday and, pay your tithes and do this and do that. I feel like when they say sowing your seed, it's not just you sowing your seed into a church. I could be sowing my seed into this single mom that needs some help or needs some food in the house. I could be sowing my seed to, just helping somebody out in the community. It doesn't always have to be the church per se. Like I'm planting my seeds doing different things.
I agree. And with that being said, it proves the point of church is not at the forefront of what it used to be. So that's why I think it could matter. I think like a person could stumble up on somebody and meet somebody, and she don't even have to be a holy roller. Like, she can be a regular church going person, and they could really hit it off. And he'd be like, I don't believe in God like that, but I care about you. There was a point in time that my sister was heavily in the church, and she's in a different relationship now, and I don't know their situation, but just think, like, you don't know her past or how heavily she was in the church and the kids were and everything. So just think, like,
she was in a cult.
She listened to this too. So.
She was in a cult.
She was in a cult. She was in that Jim Jones joint. I sent her the stuff with Jim Jones, and it's so interesting. But if people remember when Verna was on here, Verna was going to the same church, and there's a lot that was going on with that church. But to that point, I think that women control everything. Women has the barometer of what the relationship will be. I think that if more women, putting this on y'all, if more women was in mosques, was in temples, was in churches, if more women was in them, men would flock to them. Men would be like, oh yeah, I gotta get to church, like, because that's where all the fine women at, and there'll probably be less of them in other places. If it was more women going to church, that's what they'd be at. And it doesn't even matter if the men believe it or not. They gonna go there and meet them one. That's how crazy it is. Cause men doing it now. Men going to places now.
When I was going to church before the pandemic, there is more women in the church.
Always.
Than men.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that it's more women in church?
I don't know.
You don't know yet? You never thought about it?
Maybe because of that. I don't know.
It's always been that way, though.
Yeah.
It's always been that way. Well,
I'm sure you have an answer.
Well, to not sound so chauvinistic when I say this, but usually of the past, I give an example. I talked about this before. Women used to control the household. Women used to, when the salesperson used to sell to someone, they used to sell to the woman because the woman was always in the home at a point in time. The man was always out working, so door-to-door salesman who always has a good sales pitch for the woman. I think I told the story before about how my professor, Mr. Starks, has said that back in the day, this is probably a while ago because he's older than me, that there was a guy going door to door selling brushes, and he has 7 sisters. So, and all of them had different types of hair, and he basically sold one brush to all of them, catering to all of their different types of hair. She said, well, that brush probably won't work for me. Like one of them's like, that brush probably won't work for me because I have this type of. I said, oh yeah, it does this. Let me show you. And brush their hair a different type of way. And they're like, oh wow, this brush does. And he watched this man sell 7 brushes. Sells one brush to 7 different types of people. That's a long time, of course, to go to brushes. But the point I'm making is, women was so. Even the commercials at one point was all catered to women in commercials. Commercials was all catered to women because for the woman that was the homemakers, for lack of better words, they did a lot of the spending and bought a lot of the things for the household. So if that is the case, those are the ones that sets the tone for religion in most cases for the home. Like and on top of being that women are smarter, the women is going to be the one that get dressed, get the kids ready, and go to church. And if the man has been working 5 to 6 days a week, probably before the Labor Day holiday, I told the story about that. They have that one day off, and we go to church with the family all together. So if we've been going to church Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or in some cases every day, it's inevitable to go on this day with the husband. So that's where it started from, roughly. And also, women are more easier to fall in alignment with religion. Men are more, how can I say? Men are more, the opposite of alignment. I'm trying to find out what's a good way to. Men are more of, I'm trying to see how I can put this. It's easy for a woman to be the flock of a church. It's easier. It's always women. I hate to say always, but majority of the cases, it's a lot of women that will follow the pastor, that will do exactly what the pastor says. That will, like, yes, he says comes to church on this day. He says pay these tithes. He says that women, their emotion is more connected to religion than it is a man, being that women are emotional. So their emotions are more connected to religion because they can get something more from it in here, and they can feel it. So it's easy for them to have that faith with God, whatever that God may be, whether it be Allah, Buddha, the Veda, and so on and so forth. It's easier for them to have that faith because their emotions are attached to it. A man is more stubborn and stringent in regards to that. So if a man doesn't believe as much as a woman, but his wife does, it's more easier to understand. Like, oh, okay, I'll go to church. Now that doesn't mean men believe less, but women do believe more. And it's easier for a woman to follow and be a flock. That's why women always end up sleeping with the pastor, right? When there's a woman pastor, and there's been very few I've been seeing though, which is a different topic. When there's a woman pastor or a woman bishop, she doesn't sleep with any other men in the church. I've never seen it. I've never seen a woman sleep with any other man in the church. I never seen a woman sleep with any man, period, once she does that. Because a woman is more, this is how we gonna do it. Because, it's, even in small churches, it's more easier for a woman to follow suit. So I think it could work. That's just me. I think it could work. And you got to think, though. I don't know. You just got to think, like, when they have the Muslims go to the church and the women are separated. I mean, the women are more easier to be in alignment of that. Their emotion, I mean, they just are. When they have the occults, right? Like we watched a few documentaries of, like, they show all different types of cults. In all of these cults, it's majority women. Even with the one with Jim Jones we talked about before, like that was a majority of women right there. I just think that, and I'm pulling this in, reeling it back in. It's more, a man may not believe as much as you, but hey, if you're looking thick, in them jeans, shawty, like.
I don't know if it would work.
Yeah, I think it would work. I think it will work because religion ain't at the forefront of stuff like it used to be. Churches before before the pandemic, I don't think churches was packed like they is. Like on Sunday, I remember Sundays used to be so busy. Like a Saturday or sometime. Like if you gonna have to go somewhere, you gonna have to go somewhere around this time because when people get out of church, they're gonna be out to eat or they're gonna be at the stores, right? And it used to be traffic. Like it ain't that much traffic like it used to be before the pandemic. Of course, now it's not because people are not going to church for many other reasons of the coronavirus. But I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it works. I think if a person, I think all of the above. If a person don't believe in God and this person doesn't believe in God, I think it could work. If two people believe in different gods, I think it could work. If one person believe in God and they're open to it, I think all of it will work because I think a person can be open to change, especially what their mind is not open to. If they're not putting religion at the forefront, like if they're not meeting someone based on these religions, they'll meet because how many times we hear women say that it's harder to find a single man. What they said in what state that was, it's 15-1. Or was that here in Georgia? The ratio from it's 15 women to 1 man, and then in DC I heard is high, and a couple of places I heard it. So just think about that. If the ratio was so high, we didn't get to black women yet. If the ratio was so high that 10, let's just say 8-1. I know it's past 8-1. If it's 8-1, women are not leading what their religion is first. Like I'm a Christian lady and I want a Christian man.
So
no. These women out here trying to get it. Like, who are you? Can we go on a second date? And then it's also been women talking about not disclosing everything about themselves to the second, third, or fourth date. Second, third, or fourth date. So imagine if you go on third or fourth date, that's what? Over a month possibly. To even know if this religion is even on the table. So a woman will go on a date with somebody, religion not even on the table. It's not even, So let's just say, do I think a marriage can work? I think it can work because later on down the line, if we 6 months in, your religion wasn't at the forefront.
Well, before you marry someone, I'm sure you're going to find out what their religious beliefs are, whether they have any, or Muslim, or I'm sure that would be something you would find out before you decide to marry someone.
Yes, but if it's at the forefront, it don't matter.
And it could play a part in if you decide to marry that person or not.
Okay, let me give you a scenario then. We go out on a date. You feeling me, I'm feeling you. We talk, we have fun, so on and so forth. Telling your friends about me. You say you going to church, and I say, hey, go right ahead. You say you gonna go to church. Church come up, and don't never come up. It's been 3-4 months. We done slept around. You really like me, I really like you. 6 months now. It's going on 8 months, and I finally tell you that, hey, I'm a Muslim. And after all this time, you mean to tell me that the relationship is going to go down the drain just because I'm a Muslim?
It could.
How if you done slept with somebody?
That doesn't mean anything.
Why? Please explain.
Why? Because I slept with you. I slept with the person before you. Like that. Just because I slept with you doesn't mean anything.
You're proving my point, though.
Far as like me wanting to continue or to even get more serious with you, because I may feel like, okay, you're Muslim, I'm Christian, whatever. If we get married, I may have in my mind, I'm not converting to become a Muslim. I'm not going to believe in the things that you're believing in. So with that being said, you honestly think that my beliefs and your beliefs, we wouldn't bump our heads in that marriage?
No, you're proving my point. Women, which are the controllers of the relationship, are going all the way down the road in these relationships, and religion is not on the table, because if religion was on the table, you wouldn't be sleeping with them.
Well, that's on that woman's fault, because I feel like that should be something that's discussed. Like,
and women are not talking about their true beliefs and things that they want in the future.
Some women, I'm not gonna say all women.
I'm gonna say majority of these women. I'm gonna say majority of these women. Religion is not on the table. They doing all of these. People are sleeping around now.
People been sleeping around.
Well, we're talking about more. People are sleeping around more within the first few weeks. In the first few weeks, meet on all these dating apps, and God bless them for doing it. But religion, none of them is talking about religion. Religion is going to be obsolete in another. I'm saying probably about another few decades. I don't think religion is going to be because I don't think people believe like they used to. For one, Catholicism is about to be diminished in a minute. Catholics, it's going to be diminished. There's too much stuff that's been going on. Only thing that's holding on Catholicism right now, Catholic religion, is the Hispanic/Latino community. That's in all of their statues and everything. All over the world, they still have a lot. I think that's the only thing that can hold on to it a little bit. Other than that, I don't. That religion is barely hanging on. Like you rarely hear about the Pope and Catholic religion. You barely hear about that. That's one. For two, we don't even talk about Baptists no more. Wrong? Am I right or wrong? We don't talk about Baptist religion anymore, which is really a made-up religion, but we don't really talk about it anymore. Oh, I grew up Baptist. Like, you don't hear nobody saying that shit no more. So all of these little nuances about religion is slowly, check, gone. Check, that's gone. Gone. Because in a minute, Christianity is not going to be a big deal anymore. Like, if they slowly, because the laws used to be, it was supposed to have some of the Bible law in it. As soon as they check, get that out of here. Check, get that out of here. Check, get that out of here. Religion is going to be obsolete. The things around us, religion is not about. Things around us. We keep celebrating these holidays and all this stuff that ain't got nothing to do with religion. Check. So when these women is meeting somebody, sleeping around with them, it'd be a difference if women was putting religion in the forefront, as in, hey, I like you. Being that I'm a Christian, I ain't gonna sleep with you for a while. You ain't gotta put no days on it or nothing. Oh, you're a Christian, huh? Okay. Even if it's bullshit, at least put it in the air. They ain't even doing that. Cause I think women hold all the cards. Like, if women say, hey, I don't like dudes that wear A, B, and C. All these dudes that got these type of clothes, all them was gonna plummet. They gonna go in the trash, and men gonna buy all the clothes that the women say. Period. So women ain't demanding nothing. So I think it can work. I mean, as I brought up Little Mo before, she converted over to, to be a Muslim, and she grew up in the church. Whole family in the church. Like, I think it could work. I think it could work because religion ain't what it used to be. Religion ain't the hot topic no more. What used to be the same? I come from nice, he's a nice young Christian wholesome boy. Nice young man, Christian young man. Go to church every Sunday. They don't use those adjectives no more. Like, they don't use that. Like it's been so much stuff going on. To hear a pastor, bishop, sleeping with somebody in church, you're like, oh, I wonder what took him so long. And he can be married, and he'd be like, I wonder what took him so long. So I think it can work. I mean, do you think me and you got different religions?
I don't know what your religion is.
You don't know? I am a bona fide Buddhist. No, I'm not a Buddhist. But would you say you're a Christian?
I believe in God, yes. I was raised that way, yes.
So you
I was raised in the Baptist church.
You were raised in the Baptist church. So you are a Christian as of today. And there's nothing wrong with that. Our relationship is fine.
What are you?
I just believe in God, and that's it.
Right, you believe in something. You believe in something. It's not like you don't.
Yeah,
you know it's something. It's someone.
Yeah, but the argument could be made that hey, we're not the same religion. How could it work? I just believe in God, and that's it. I mean, it's an interesting topic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, would it matter to you if our kids had a different religion?
They may not believe.
But they crazy ass. In a minute, Facebook gonna be their religion with this new stuff going on with Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Facebook finna be a religion. And you know what? I wonder if Facebook is a religion. Because there's certain things that you check off that things qualify as almost like a religion. Like, that's why cults. This is a cult because, hey, boom, they believe in this. Boom, they believe in this. Boom, they believe in this. I wonder if Facebook is a religion. That's interesting. Okay. Well, that's it for this one. I guess we can chalk this one up. She believes it won't work. I believe it will work. You can follow us on all social media handles. The Dyson's Effect at hotmail.com is our email, right? Social media handles is
The Dyson's Effect.
Hey, there you go. She's still here. The Dyson's Effect on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Your Instagram?
I am his Mrs. Dice.
Yes, with all the enthusiasm that she has, I'm trying to slow her energy down so she don't burn out. Mine is Your Benevolent Coach on everything and Benevolent Coach on Twitter. Please get in contact with us. Comment, share, like. Give your opinions on everything that we have to say on this. And keep your religion to yourself. As always, in you, I am your. That's how I know that don't be. That ain't preaching. Because if God gave you that voice, why he give you the voice of somebody else? Like, if you heard, and you, and all that ain't got nothing to do with preaching. And I said, that ain't got nothing to do with God. Like, you heard somebody else do it, you thought it was a good idea, you thought you giving the word, and all that is bull crap. But, he is Johnny, and I'm Johnny.
This is Theresa.
And this is another episode of the
Dyson's Effect.
Peace, love, and blessings.